Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television Live from Lagos. Preserve the values that bind us as a nation. Let the dividends of democracy spread and let the dreams of the founding fathers never be forgotten. That's the advice coming from some elder statesmen, including former President Olusegun Obasanjo, as Nigeria turns 55.
Parades, displays and the spirit of excitement are what usually characterizes the country's independence celebrations, and at 55 it's no different. But beyond the celebration, there are dreams, hopes and expectations from the citizenry. An elder statesman, Alhaji Pt.2, reflects on the journey so far, saying Nigeria is not done yet, while a professor at the Center for Democracy and Development looks forward to the day when citizens reap the fruits of democracy.
The struggle for those fruits of independence is now on our shoulders, and we need to continue.
It is a work in progress. We've done a lot. If you look at what it was before and look what it is today, at least we are enjoying democracy back to where we started in 1960.
For former President Olusegun Obasanjo, it's time to ensure that the values of our national life are not eroded.
Cardinal features of our national life, values, should not be eroded. And then we should also be willing to learn from our mistakes.
From the diaspora, the desire for a better nation rings clear. The helmsman at the Nigerian High Commission in South Africa looks forward to a greater nation.
A nation that will ensure limited or at least complete the return of brain drain. We want a brain gain, and we want to see less of our own overseas, particularly the unscathed, roaming the streets and giving us bad image.
Many have spoken, but it's important that with the economy deep in the woods, most Nigerians still look up to the federal government to come up with articulate measures to arrest the drift and also tackle the issue of national unemployment, as everyone looks forward to a better nation.
And the 55th independence anniversary was celebrated across Nigeria. While there were parades in most states, in some states no celebrations took place. And for most of the governors, the day offered an opportunity for reflection on how to refocus the state and rebuild the country.
It's 55 years since Nigeria gained its independence, and the anniversary is marked in different states across the country. In southwest Nigeria, Ogun State students, the Nigerian military and paramilitary commemorate the day with a march past.
We must continue to work for the people, coexistence of all, irrespective of our language, tribe, or tongue.
It is the contrary in Osun State, where there is no celebration, rather a street protest. Kwara is the same. The venue for the occasion is empty, except for the presence of the military and those removing the deco. Though it's low-key, a colorful parade from students, the military and the defense is performed to mark the day in Kaduna. This is the first time in 4 years that the state is celebrating the anniversary following the various attacks by Boko Haram.
That as we liberated our country, we must also free our people by making the right of quality education accessible to all. Education is emancipation. Education is freedom.
From Kaduna to the southeastern region, precisely Anambra State, where this colorful display takes center stage.
Brothers and sisters, I see hope for Anambra State. I see hope for Nigeria. It is along this line that I have decided to give hope to the hopeless amongst us by exercising my prerogative of mercy and granting amnesty to 25 prisoners, 7 different terms in the 3 prisons in Anambra State.
In Imo State, the governor takes the traditional salute as students, the military and paramilitary march past him at the Dan Anyam Stadium.
Despite the insurgencies and challenges of this time, Nigeria is still one nation. I congratulate President Muhammad Buhari for this great day and to congratulate the rest of Nigerians for making a 55-year-old nation.
Away from the southeast to the south-south, Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade inspects the Guard of Honor.
We must reconstruct Nigeria and restart with enthusiasm. We must look no more to the east or to the west, but look unto God and unto ourselves, so as to create a new Nigeria that is truly independent.
Amen. The anniversary is also marked in Delta State amidst fanfare. The celebration may have come and gone, but many say that the nation's unity amidst the many problems is something to be treasured.
Let's discuss where we are now in Nigeria. I have joining me in the studio Juliet Binyete, faculty member of the Institute of National Transformation, to discuss Nigeria's independence at 55. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you, Amma.
Let's begin with where we are. We've heard the president talk about the enthusiasm that we should have, wanting to do things right and so on. Do you also share that enthusiasm that things will be better, that we're headed in the right direction and, we'll get there?
I believe we are. I believe we are headed in the right direction, although through a bumpy road. Things will get better and has to get better, because I believe Nigerians themselves are hopeful and we are generally fighters. We are optimistic and we keep believing. And I think with time, especially during this era, everybody's fed up. So the expectation levels are high. The pressure is there on government to a certain degree, not enough. But I think we're getting there. But we are not there at all yet. But the journey is about to start, because there's a demand that is rising from citizenship for a very long time. We hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, and change seems to be in the atmosphere. The president was saying this morning that people should no longer be unruly at motor parks, hospitals and schools. He's asking people to be orderly, change your attitude and so on. Do we really need to be told these things?
We have to be told at this season, because, whether you like it or not, looking at Lagos, even driving on the road, people have become reckless. There is absolute, indiscipline almost everywhere. Lagos traffic is something else now. Not just only because of the number of cars or bad roads, but the disorderliness. You go to the airport, people are jumping queues. I understand that at this level, we shouldn't be talking about that. But unfortunately, as Nigerians, we haven't proved otherwise. We're coming down from the airplane, the plane hasn't landed, we're standing up. We're getting into the bus, we're rushing. So there's something that we need to just simply understand. And I think, like Lin Kuan Yew, he kept telling his people, and of course, when they put regulations in place, you just can't say it. You have to put systems in place to insist, because human beings all over the world, not just Nigerians, rules and enforcement is what makes people change, not just the great speech of a president, good as it may be.
How much trust can Nigerians put in this present administration? We've heard these promises before, that we're getting to where we're going to. And for several years, we have been hearing these promises. We've been believing. What benchmarks are there that we should, look out for and say, okay, if it's done this, then we are really on the right track and we can believe this government?
Well, we have no choice to a certain degree not to believe in the government nor our country, because it's ours. If the country fails, not just the president that fails, the entire nation fails. And that's why as Nigerians, we have to keep trusting. But in trusting, we should not just trust blindly. That is the difference. The nation must understand that there are parameters for nation building. And if this government is not doing anything, there must be pressure from society, pressure from opposition, pressure at every side. No one is going to give this government rest until they perform exactly what is expected of them in this season, because Nigeria must come out of this mess.
What are your expectations for the government?
One of the things I'm trusting, if being optimistic, is that President Buhari at this level, number one, at his age, should not be thinking about what was before. I think he should be looking forward to a new nation. And I believe Nigerians have, there are a lot of talents, both home and abroad, that can be harvested to build a country. You can't build a country with people, the same hands that have been destroying it. You have to look for fresh, new-mindedness, patriotic citizen, nationalistic individual, experts who are ready to run. I mean, I always tell people, I say when I come to channels, one of the things you see in China is the vigor of the young people. Where are the young people in the nation? You can't run a nation with the old guys, the same old people. It's not going to work.
You're throwing a challenge now to the younger generation of Nigerians, asking them to get ready.
They must prepare themselves. One of the challenge we have at this is that our youths and our younger ones from even 45 and below have become redundant. We have become onlookers, watchers. Nations don't change with young people keeping quiet. They must rise up and participate, rise up and speak out. There are solutions to the myriad issues in Nigeria, a lot of solutions. But the government must open the country to debates. The nation must be open to the media. We must be ready to move this country forward. The president alone can't do it, nor his cabinet. It's a national answer.
Well, just finally, looking ahead, it's a new dawn for Nigeria. 55 is really big. Where should we be headed next? I mean, what are the other expectations, the projects that we should be looking forward to, the benchmarks of success and development that we should be having in the next 1 year that we could say we have moved from where we are?
For example, nations that we had independence before them, like Singapore, have moved way ahead. We're talking about a GDP per capita at $65,000. And Nigeria is just at 3,000. People say it's because it's a small nation. That's not how it works. It works with the capacity, human capacity development cannot be ignored. We have people. People is the greatest wealth. It's not just the natural resources. We have natural resources, and therefore we must build proper infrastructure. There are 12 pillars of what we call competitiveness, and Nigeria is at 127 out of 144. And one of the things that are dragging us down is institutions, infrastructure, health and primary education, and also higher education and trainings. In that areas we are lacking, and the government must focus and raise up teams that must do this. So whoever's name is on that list, coming out, wherever it's coming out, must be people who are ready to work very hard.
Well, you've brought the fire on tonight on the News at 10. Thank you so much, Ms. Juliet Binyete, for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
I've been speaking with a faculty member of the Institute of National Transformation, Juliet Binyete, on Nigeria at 55. When the News at 10 returns, health sector practitioners agree that a lot of progress has been made in the development of healthcare delivery in Nigeria. That's in a moment. Please join us again.